Hello, candle lovers. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Greg, and this is all about candles. I have a review for you today from Bath and Body Works. This is Lavender Bergamot. And I don't have a great memory about the history of this candle. I know that a while back it was out in the White Barn core line for a while in the older White Barn core packaging, and then it disappeared for a while, and now it's come back with the new redesigned White Barn core line. I don't remember this candle ever coming out in packaging that wasn't White Barn, but I could be mistaken on that. I think that I might have burned it once a long time ago, but I just didn't have much of a recollection of it, so I wanted to give it another try. I think that the new White Barn designs look really, really pretty. I love that they have the colored lid and a bit of a larger text box with the scent notes right there on the front. And the scent notes on this one are bright lavender, bergamot zest, and vanilla bean. And this candle reminds me a little bit of Bergamot Waters, except it's got the lavender in there. It almost smells a little bit like this is the Bergamot Waters candle with the addition of a touch of lavender. And I think it's really, really nice. I actually enjoyed this candle quite a bit. It wasn't a powerhouse, but I thought it was a lovely fragrance. There is a little bit of an aquatic quality to the bergamot in there, as there often is with bergamot. It's a little bit citrusy, but I wouldn't say that it's full-blown, zesty, pucker up, juicy citrus. You know what I mean? It's almost more like the rind or the oil of a citrus fruit. I do think that there's a little bit of an aquatic note in here as well, and a really nice soft touch of lavender. And it's not a really sharp, super duper perfumey floral lavender note. It's a nice sort of soft and fresh lavender note. And overall, I like this fragrance. I think it's quite nicely balanced. Is it a little bit basic? Yeah, it's a little bit basic, but it's nice. It's lovely. I can see why they would want to include it in this White Barn core line. And it performed pretty well. It wasn't a powerhouse, but it was a nice, strong, and clean burn. I burned it all the way down until there was nothing left there. In fact, I left it outside overnight last night. After I had blown it out, I left it outside, and it must have gotten kind of chilly out in the middle of the night because the wax cracked right there, as you can see. And I mean, this was a very, very, very strong burning candle. This candle really had to be babysat a little bit. It was a bit of a powerhouse in terms of burning. I don't think that I could let this candle burn most of the time for longer than an hour and a half or 2 hours, because next thing you knew, the flames were just roaring and there was a big, deep, even wax pool, and you definitely had to call it a day and blow it out, because it would just get to going really quite strongly, which, I mean, it's all right. I'm glad. I'd rather that a candle burn a little bit too overzealously than not enough. However, the strength and throw just didn't really match the burn. I'd say that in my more open space, it did get a little bit lost. Maybe it was a 5 or so in my more open area. So it spent most of its time in the bedroom. And in the bedroom, I'd say it got up to about a 6. So it had a presence to it. It was detectable. It was nice. It was soft. It was lovely. Would I have liked for it to have been a little bit stronger? Yes, I would. But I do think that this is one of those candles that's not really meant to be a face puncher, the way that I like it sometimes. I think it's meant to be a little bit of a softer and more subtle fragrance. So overall, no huge complaints. I might actually consider repurchasing this one. By the time I got about halfway down, and it was in the bedroom and it was doing better, I actually thought to myself, oh, I kind of like this one. I might actually pick up another one day. It's really lovely. So yeah, overall, nothing terrible to say about Lavender Bergamot, but nothing super spectacular either. It seems like a perfectly reasonable, palatable candle for them to keep on the shelves in this White Barn core line for 2 or 3 more years to come. Anyways, That's all I've got for you folks today. Thank you so much for joining me. You can follow me on Instagram at allabootcandles and email your burning questions to allabootcandles@gmail.com. If you could hit me up with a like, comment, subscribe to my channel, that would mean the world to me. And until next time, my dear, gorgeous, and beautiful candle-loving friends, let's burn some candles and bitch about it. Thanks, you guys. Bye for now.